So, why do people criticize? What is criticism? And is there a way to easily transcend the feeling of being criticized or the temptation to judge or criticize others? So, let's explore this because we've all experienced that feeling of being judged or criticized, and that can actually get in the way of you bringing your light out into the world in a bigger way. So we have to be able to rise above that. And I have a simple statement that is the basis of today's video that's going to help you do just that. So let's do this. Hi, my name is Elari Onawa, and if we haven't met yet, I help women and some brave men too of positive influence who want to shine their light in a bigger way, who want to make a positive impact and get really clear about what their goals are and bring them out in a soul-aligned way. I help them have more fun, prosperity, and impact. So if you like this video, subscribe, like it. That lets YouTube know that there's value here in this video and it would be helping me out too. I picked up a book several weeks ago. The title of the book wasn't even something that I was all that interested in, but I was getting a strong nudge to buy it, and so I did. And I started reading it, but I noticed that my interest level wasn't really there. So I set it aside for several weeks, went along doing my usual things, teaching, coaching, creating programs, writing, and of course, having fun, exploring, and expanding. So then a fun and interesting turn of events happened. Yesterday at the time, at least yesterday at the time that I'm recording this, I decided to let the book go. It was clear that I wasn't going to read it, and then that's when it happened. I picked up the book and out fluttered this note. And it has one statement on it, and it is so powerful and so revealing. And I'm going to share that with you in a minute. So it was written on note paper in the shape of a hat, something that I'd never seen before, something that was obviously placed there by someone else who might have been browsing it and looking through the book before I purchased this book. Now keep in mind that this note was revealed after I had paged through this book and read about 20 or so pages. And of course, the timing was perfect, right? And here's what it said. A criticism is just a bad way to make a request. How does that statement land for you? A criticism is just a bad way to make a request. Isn't there something liberating about that? I know this statement really struck me for many reasons, and I will get to that. But I do want to credit Diane Sawyer first. She's the person associated with this gem. I did do the research to find out who it was attributed to. So I'd like to share two powerful reasons why this statement landed for me as such a powerful truth, because I think you can relate to that too. And then I will talk about ways to use this so you can have freedom from criticism. You can feel free if you are tempted to criticize another. And so you can also have a tool that can quickly turn a conversation from one that could go south quickly to one that's actually nurturing and sees things from the level of your soul. So number one, I had recently had a huge breakthrough around the way I was seeing one of my lifelong relationships, the one with my mother. The specifics are for another time and message. Let's just say for now that feeling criticized and never enough was wrapped up inside that relationship. And this was the last layer of a thread that had followed me around for a very long time. Do you have something you've carried with you that you know doesn't serve you and yet you haven't completely moved beyond it yet? Well, this was one of those things for me. And I also knew that I needed to complete that last layer in order to step into what I was being called to create next in my life. This is where it's important to remember that we are all spiritual beings in a human body. And this means that we can understand and sense the higher truth on a spiritual or conceptual level. And it also means that sometimes we grow and evolve different aspects over time. Some things we get quickly and easily, and others take a bit more time and experience. Regardless of whether we are getting a life lesson in a deeper way or growing quickly and easily, we want to remember that in order to really get the treasure or to put on a new powerful hat, so it becomes part of who we are being and how we are showing up, we also need to get the physically oriented aspects of ourselves on board too. In the human body, that's the limbic system and the amygdala, and they are parts of our human selves that are responsible for keeping us in the safe and familiar. We are multidimensional, both physical and non-physically oriented at the same time. And this is why transcending criticism, whether that is self-inflicted or we are taking it on from someone else or letting ourselves be affected by it, can seem like such a big challenge because criticism can often feel like an attack, and that can fire off the flight, fight, or freeze responses. So another way to say this is we have higher, wiser aspects of ourselves that we can call upon, thankfully, and we also must effectively deal with the human need for safety and familiarity as well. We are spiritual beings in a human body and need to honor both. We can't ignore the human part and expect to happily and easily navigate life. That's why I offer so many tools that help people see, embody, and take inspired action from that expanded higher perspective that is part of you. We are wired to grow and evolve. So anything that gets in the way of that needs to be transformed so you can happily grow and thrive as you are meant to. So when you want to manifest something outside your current experiences or comfort zone, that requires transformation or evolution. We could even use the words transformation, evolution, and manifestation interchangeably, and we'd be quite accurate in doing so. My spirit guides told me many, many years ago that your heartfelt dreams and desires are the language of your soul. They call you forth to who you truly are. And this means that we evolve into our heartfelt desires. We do this by expanding the way we see ourselves and what we see as possible. We physically become the one who already has that desire, so we are able to have and hold what is calling us forth. So, manifesting always means letting go of what doesn't serve us and embracing the higher truth and possibility, becoming the one who has that heartfelt desire. And you know that you have had a breakthrough and you've embodied a higher truth when you feel a visceral shift in your body, in your thinking, and at the emotional level too. When you shift, you are at peace and your way of seeing and being expands. You bring in more of your soul truth and your soul qualities. And this is an important reminder to love and honor both your human and your non-physical aspects as well, to remember that you are a soul in a human body and that everything has a positive spiritual purpose. Honor all of it. Number 2, the other reason that this revealing truth is especially pertinent right now, again, that higher truth is a criticism is just a bad way to make a request, is because culturally there's so much criticizing and finger pointing going on right now. It's being amplified in many families and inside many organizations, inside politics, and some news outlets as well. So it's especially important right now to stand inside higher level clarity, and this seemingly simple statement can help you do that. So let's look at how to powerfully use higher level perspectives to transcend feeling criticized, or if you are witnessing someone criticizing, or if you catch yourself being tempted to criticize another. Next time that you feel like you are being judged or criticized, ask yourself, what am I making this statement mean? This helps you step out of the emotion and into the realm of clear perception. Recognizing, too, that our interpretation may not be accurate, that we might actually be operating from a conditioned response or taking on someone else's bad way of asking for help. This is very powerful. It detaches us from the emotional response and the need to fight or flee or freeze. Now that you've got space, you can ask the individual you're conversing with, what is your request? They may not know until someone asks this illuminating question. This helps clarify what they are really looking for and what they are really trying to convey. And remember that there is almost always an unmet need underneath a complaint or criticism. And you do not have to say yes to the request unless you truly want to. But in any event, you've given yourself and the person you are interacting with a powerful gift, higher clarity. And from this space, new understanding, new and better choices can be made. Yay! And if you'd like to go deeper into handling emotional triggers, see my video, Emotional Triggers, Simple Strategies That Work. What to do, what not to do. I'll leave a link below in the description of the video. So if you are witnessing someone criticizing another, let's look at that. First, bring your focus into your heart, take a deep breath, and release. Then ask yourself, is there anything for me to do here? You'll get an instant yes or no. Now, this is your practice to trust that. If you get a no, move on and tend to your own well-being and vibration. Let them be. There's nothing for you to do. They will either work it out or they'll receive the tools to do so when they are ready. If you get a yes, then there's something for you to convey, or you're being called to see something for yourself. So you want to move into neutral observer or be present. Notice what is happening without labeling it. In other words, notice your higher guidance. Often, higher guidance comes in the form of a simple statement or question. If there's something you are being called to share, just know that if emotions are high, it will take a bit of time for that energy to dissipate, and that now may not be the optimal time to share a new perspective. It can't be received, it can't land if there's a lot of adrenaline and cortisol flowing in someone's body. Perhaps you will need to circle back individually if that is your role and if you're being invited to do so. Now, if you do have that conversation, do so from the perspective of being of service. And only if they welcome your input. If so, one possible statement might be, you are usually so calm and centered. What is it that you are looking for that you could give yourself right now? Now, this is a really powerful question. So I'm going to repeat that so you can write it down. And you might want to pause this video. So a great statement is, you are usually so calm and centered. What is it that you are looking for that you could give to yourself right now? Now, this is powerful because it keeps people out of finger pointing, and it also puts the power back into their hands in what they can actually impact at the current moment. Acknowledging another way of being in this example, calm and centered, plants a new seed, a new possibility, a new way of being, even if it's not factual at the current moment, even if that person isn't calm and centered. Sometimes people believe too that certain needs have to be met through specific people, so there's a lot of attachment and a lot of emotion around that, and that's often the case between a child and a parent, and between spouses. So there can be a higher charge around perceptions of criticism in those cases. But here's a universal spiritual truth to consider. Whatever you want or need, you must first give to yourself in order to truly have it. I may write a follow-up message or make a future video about that one because it is so liberating once we take that on. In fact, I could probably do a whole program about that single statement. Whatever you want or need, you must first give to yourself in order to truly have it. If you're in my Fun and Prosperous Life membership, by the way, you already are using those tools. So if that is something that might interest you and you're not a member, you can go there and sign up, and you'll be alerted the next time that we open up enrollment, and I'll leave that link for that one too. For now, ask the question, what is it that you are looking for that you could give to yourself right now? We all have the ability to choose a better perspective and create an improved state of being or vibration to create a better feeling. We can make a higher level choice and expand what is possible for ourselves in doing so. So let's say that you are being guided to just observe because there's something for you to learn about criticism and that energy. In this case, make a mental note and schedule time to reflect on what you observed and what you are being called to see for yourself. So when you do this, lean into the feeling that you had as you observed the criticism taking place. It'll tell you something. Bring your focus into your heart or out into your energy field a few inches from your body and ask yourself, what am I being called to see that would be helpful for me? You might be called to release a belief or perspective that no longer serves you. You might get an epiphany or an aha moment. Either way, do the work so that you can have the freedom that you are being guided toward. We get helpful nudges and inklings all the time, and when we follow them, we can significantly improve the quality of our lives. We can manifest things faster and easier, and we can grow and evolve in a fun and joyful way. And if you need help shifting beliefs, especially if you have a tendency to be self-critical, get my book, Just Believe How Faith in Yourself Shifts Everything. Again, I'll leave a link below this video in the description. That's a wonderful foundation piece. It's a great tool, and it does go deeper into shifting beliefs, where they come from, and also being unstoppable no matter what. So if you catch yourself criticizing or being tempted to criticize someone else, take a deep breath and release and let that go. And by all means, don't make it worse by making yourself wrong too. Instead, ask yourself, what do I really want here? Remember, criticism is just a bad way to make a request. Now, in this case, the request is one that you also happen to be sending out into creative substance. We are making requests all day, every day. So if you follow through on that criticism and start feeding in that, then you actually are energizing what you don't want. And you're also making someone else responsible for the way you feel. So instead of that, ask yourself, what is the outcome I do want? Choose that and energize that by seeing it easily done. You can write your desire in the form of a new choice, a new story, or you can close your eyes and see the best possible outcome done in the best way for you. And I get that it can be tempting to make wrong. We've all done that at some point. But if we do that, we actually energize what we do not want. That's why complaints and criticisms feel bad. We don't want to feed them. That's our guidance system. So cultivate what makes you happy. Now, let's say that you don't like a global event like the war in Ukraine. It can be really tempting to criticize and make wrong and judge. However, if you make it wrong or rally against it, you energize conflict and war, the opposite of what you actually want to feed. So you feed the energy of conflict and war through your assessments, your conclusions, your criticisms, and attention to it. So instead, answer, what is the outcome I do want? Let's say that your answer is peace and harmony. Now, what does that feel and look like for you? Maybe you see everyone happily in their homes again, embracing one another, maybe sharing a meal together and celebrating the new opportunities, the new expanded horizons and possibilities they now have. You don't need to see how that can happen. Instead, feed the desired outcome, charge the peace and harmony, and you could also write about why you like the feelings of peace and harmony and how good it feels to have that. And then you see that energy of peace and harmony spreading throughout the entire planet. You're also feeding harmony and peace, and you're being a person of positive influence. So let's look at one more example, one that's not on a global scale, that's closer to home maybe. So let's say that you have a desire to be more present or mindful during the day. Start with a clear, committed choice. One good way to do that is to make a statement of appreciation as if it's already done. You're assuming it's already done. So that might look like, I love and appreciate how present and mindful I am during the day now because, and then list some reasons why you love being so present and mindful. By doing this, you are embodying the way of being that you want. And then if you choose to take an inspired action from there, that's even better. If feeling that is already done isn't easy for you, maybe your mind will argue and say, but I'm not present and mindful yet. Then there's a way to bypass that. State your choice as a willingness or readiness to have it. That might look like, I'm willing to believe that I can easily be more present and mindful during the day. And I love this because, again, you are getting present to the reasons why having this feels good to you. In doing so, you are energizing that choice and that outcome. And any inspired actions you receive from this new way of being will come from your desired outcome, easy presence and mindfulness, and will be aligned and powerful. Okay, so that is it for now. I recommend taking a few moments to get present to what you learned and how you will use this video and this information so it becomes part of your powerful toolkit for a fun, prosperous, and spiritually rich life. You can start by sharing this message with others by using the forward and share button, and also do give me a thumbs up or a comment. That actually helps YouTube know that there's value in this video and they share it with others, and that would help me as well. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you next time. This is Elari Onawa. Bye for now.